continuation of the first part of this video on whether or not a partner or wife, as in the focus of this talk, should check her husband's phone. Now, my talk on this matter of an existing problematic open phone policy between couples does not, cannot, and will not cover the many other circumstances that surround the reason why some men lock their phones and their wives try to break into them to check them. There are indeed a few other possibly legit reasons why one partner or both would protect their phones with a password to deny the other access. I'm aware of that. I'm also aware that broken trust can relate to anything concerning the relationship aside of infidelity. Okay, I know that. But my talk is focused only on the infidelity aspect behind the checking of a partner's phone. Because not only is it the common reason, but it is what my experience has been in the past. And so I can relate to it better. Okay? So that out of the way, let's consider a common question many couples eventually ask themselves one day in a somber moment after all the damage from the broken trust has been done. They ask, how did we get here? It's a very common, hard question, but they do ask that. How do we get here? Well, in answer to that question, the truth to what happened is that the wife was now confronted with the painful fact that she would not be receiving his own end of the agreement she believed she had entered into with him when they both got married. Period. And this is because he all of a sudden started being all funny about the open phone policy their marriage came with in the first place, while her phone was open to his access all the time. She then became confused and hurt because it dawned on her that one of the most important virtues that their relationship required to be viable, as indeed any other relationship would require, such as trust, was no longer on the table. Basically, she realized that he had entered into this union with her under false pretenses and would continue to do what he liked. Or maybe he entered it and everything was all right for a short while, and then now he's decided to break that trust and prefers to be a free willy. Moving on. So now that I've given you a mental storyboard behind this whole phone checking business and the possible outcomes of it, I hope we understand that when a wife starts checking her husband's phone, or even a husband decides to start checking his wife's phone, it doesn't just happen overnight. No, it doesn't. The foundation was already crumbling and shaking, and the checking of the phone was just one of the pieces of debris falling from the collapsing walls of the trust in the marriage. Now, going back to the question I asked in the beginning of my video, the first video, and even this one, is it right to continue checking your partner's phone even after you've confronted them with their little indiscretion, whether it was an outright affair or a potential affair? And I say potential here because, listen guys, texting your single and well-endowed co-worker at night asking if she'd like to grab lunch with you the next day while your wife is lying next to you in bed, or sending heart emojis with every text message reply to your ex you've recently reconnected with without your wife's knowledge, really? That is a potential affair, all right? So back to the question, should she keep checking his phone knowing the full truth of what she's dealing with? Knowing that if things were as they should be, she would have his unspoken permission to check his phone. But now, the open phone policy between them appears to be problematic, and although he's promised he's not cheating, his phone is still locked. Should you keep snooping? The answer I would give is a capital no. Why, you ask? What's the point, I ask back. What's the point? If you've already established beyond all suspicion that he's a cheater, then you're now empowered enough with the truth to make a decision on what you want to do next. So why continue to check his phone? And listen to this. Even if you decide to stay with him and wait for his promises to change to kick in, why continue to check his phone? Why? If you've decided to remain with him after you've both talked and you've forgiven him and you've both now agreed for a second chance to rebuild your trust in him, then go ahead and give him the benefit of doubt and trust him completely. Or if you've simply decided you can never trust him again, but you don't want to leave him either because you've invested too much on his cheating behind and you don't want some girl from outside to just come take over what you've worked hard for, then why continue to snoop around and subject yourself to that kind of emotional pain repeatedly? You made a choice to accept his cheating, so stop looking for evidence of it. Why? Do you know how emotionally painful it is to keep doing that to yourself? At the end of the day, it will only change you and drive you insane. It will turn you into someone you don't want to be. Trust me. I've been there. I've done that, and I wore the crappy t-shirt too for way longer than my silly in love self should have. I know what I'm talking about. The fact that you now know what you know is power for you to seek a solution and not become obsessed, sitting around every time and waiting for him to go into the shower so you can pounce on his phone he forgot to lock, and quickly scroll through his messages and his phone calls and check for strange numbers on his phone. Or you want him to fall asleep. You wait for him to fall asleep, and then you try to place his index finger on the fingerprint scanner of his phone to try to unlock it. Oh my God, come on. Stop it. Why are you doing this to yourself? You see, the longer you indulge in that heartbreaking and painful phone checking behavior you've developed without taking a decision to act, whatever that decision may look like, as long as you do that, it will expand and become a major focus of your thoughts and take away your peace and joy. I can say this confidently because, listen, I was once in that place and I almost lost my mind because I was so consumed with checking and investigating without taking any actions. The fact is, once your trust is gone and you do nothing about it, whether to leave or to stay with the person and salvage it positively, you are destroying your mind for no just cause. That's just what it is. Now, however, in the case where your sexual health is being put at risk and you have a strong evidence, and I won't go into details here, but you can guess what I mean. In a case like that, you can check his phone if you have the opportunity and, you have access to it. And if he's not sharing any information with you, because checking it will save your life or give you a heads up at least about something you need to know or something you need to address with him or someone else urgently, okay? Now, there are many scenarios that come to mind here, but I don't have the time to go into all of them, but I'm sure you know what I mean, all right? You know what I mean. So in a case like that, girl, check that phone and save your life, okay? Check it so you don't get blindsided by some nasty surprise he may be hiding from you. And really, when you do that, let that be the only reason why you bother to check his phone again. Since you have already established that he's a life-threatening cheater, because that's what he is, but you chose to remain in the marriage and pray for him for the rest of your life while he continues to play Russian roulette with your health. Okay, so stay. I mean, you made that choice, so stay. Keep to your choice. Now, what about a case where you're just acting out of curiosity? And please, let's separate idle curiosity from a nagging female intuition deep down inside that we all sometimes have that tells us that something somewhere is wrong, okay? These are two separate things, all right? I'm talking about the idle curiosity here because it's natural to be curious about what your partner is up to, all right? After all, he's part of you now, and you just want to know what he's up to sometimes, and not even in a bad way, It's just you want to know because we all have minds. Everyone has minds that seeks out information daily, but we also have the ability to control it. We can control what our minds want to know. Therefore, in a case where you're just acting out of idle curiosity, and there's a possibility that it could develop into a habit, I will also say don't do it or stop doing it if you're already doing it. Since he has already proved to you that he has nothing to hide by honoring the open phone policy between the both of you, then you don't have to. Don't take his trust for granted by continuing to snoop through his things and dig for things that are not there just to satisfy your curiosity. Because if you keep doing that, you will surely find something. Yes, you will. You'll find something that you wouldn't understand without sufficient background. And my dear, that sufficient background is something he does not owe you in all fairness because you gathered evidence where there was none to make a mountain out of a molehill. Should I say that again? You gathered evidence where there was none to make a mountain out of a molehill. And if you harp on about it, you're only going to be putting the marriage or relationship under unnecessary strain. So let it go. It's not worth it. Which brings me to the conclusion of this video, and I'd like to end it by saying this. The sad fact of this whole phone checking palaver is that it's happening a lot more in some Christian marriages. And these are marriages that are supposed to exemplify what the word says about trust in marriage, to ensure seemingly simple things like spousal open phone policy is never ever an issue in the first place. There's a powerful word that comes to mind here which delivers to us both practical and moral wisdom when I consider this finicky matter of checking your spouse's phone. And that word is found in the book of Proverbs chapter 3 verses 5 to 8. I've put it up there. It says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your path. Do not be wise in your own eyes." Ladies, listen to this one. "Fear the Lord and depart from evil, for it will be health to your flesh." That one was for the men though. Okay, the fear the Lord and depart from evil. "And strength to your bones." All right. I'll end by saying, when it comes to checking the phones of our spouses, let's allow wisdom and common sense to guide us. Okay. Let's proceed with discretion and caution. And this is where the lean not on your own understanding part comes in for the ladies. Some interactions or calls may not be as harmful as they appear, while some are just as harmful as they appear. Peace of mind is not a rare commodity for those who know how to seek God in confusing and difficult times. Because if you allow God show you the truth and then follow the route he shows you or he gives you out of that problem, without leaning on your own solution, you will come out victorious and with all intact mind. Okay. Hey, you've made it to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment, like, and don't forget to subscribe using the red button below, and then click on the bell symbol that appears so that you will get a notification each time I upload a new video. Thank you all again for watching. And ladies, remember, you don't need to snoop, because you've been empowered by the truth you already know to make the right decision for yourself. God bless you, and see you at my next video.